Hi, you guys. How are you? So I promised a second part to the part 3, and I turned off my camera. And so now that's where I'm picking up from. However, after I turned off my camera, Spirit said to me, no, we're doing something else. So I've been kind of waiting to see what that something else is, and I found out what it was. There was a statement made by Chief of Staff to PEB-elect about what their response is going to be with what's been going on by the rusher against our agencies, our infrastructure. And Ron promised that they were going to go beyond just sanctions. So that is what this next part is going to be. Okay, for those of you who are new, welcome. Those of you returning, I'm so glad you're here. For you newbies, I do the cards a little bit different than a lot of people. You can tell maybe right here, I have 2 decks going. I often work with multiple decks. The other thing that I do is I've just now am totally relying on the astrological, a horoscope over Washington, D.C., which is what this thing is. You do not have to know anything about astrology at all. I will talk with some astrological terms, but I try to explain things in ways that are not full of jargon, okay? And I know a lot of times I have to talk in code with my videos because either I buffer or all of a sudden the AI listens to and decodes everything, my entire thing, and then it like shuts down the views. It's really bad. But anyway, so what I do is I use 2 decks usually. And then what I do is see this horoscope is from the new moon eclipse that we had on December 14th. And the moon right now is in Pisces and it's over here. And so this is only to guide my message, because what I do is then I put astrology cards, which are kind of like tarot cards, but they're for astrology. And then I put the tarot cards around it in a certain area. What it does for me is it shows me how different parts of the chart communicates with each other. So it brings in more dimension. And this is my old cruddy deck. You can see how beat up it is, and I take notes on here because this deck has been my faithful deck all year. This 2020, that's my yes card of the year of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And we are at the eve of the winter solstice, which happens to be an eclipse click date already from the first day of summer. And we're headed into the great Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, which I still haven't been able to talk with all of you about. I'm really excited about this. And we are finishing our last lunation, the last month of this Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which basically is why 2020 has sucked so badly, so awfully badly. So you guys, we're on the upswing, except we still have this menace in the White House. So this reading I'm going to do, I kind of am on this like little journey, I guess, which just happened over this weekend. So right now I'm supposed to be in the second part of part 3, which is actually, and we're just going to call it number 4. But how this started is on the first reading I did was, looking at those people. There were 8 of them, 7 senators, 1 congresswoman. Back in 2018, they did not spend July 4th in the U.S. No, they went to Moscow. Why? Why did they do that? And it was incredibly revealing about what the purpose was and the long-term ramifications of that, what the goals were. And that led to number 2, because yesterday an article came out and we've been hearing pieces of this since Friday and Thursday, especially with Senator Johnson from Wisconsin talking, they're talking about this budget, the stimulus, and now we're hearing words about the deficit. What? After you did what? To the tax code? And then the headline was that the GOP is hoping to rein in the feds on spending. And what it showed was actually, no, I mean, they flipped on a dime with their messaging, because that messaging, the directions, don't come from within the United States. The messages, the directions are brought to them in what they do. And there's a very specific reason why they're reining in the feds. And this Taroscope, it was matching this one, like in tandem, like everything they outlined here July 4th that year, purpose, who, what, how, showed up all over the place with reining in the feds. It's connected. And so as we looked at that, somehow, so on my own, I was looking more about this messaging, about writing them in, and I wanted to see who's in agreement with this. So in the background, I saw Don Holio. His reasons to frame also lined up with this July 4th. But the other thing that was happening, because there's an area of this chart that has to do with secrets and hidden enemies, that was pointing to another op in the background. Why do they have to rein in the feds? Well, there's they have to deal now with this. This is my card for the breaking and entering, the B&E, breaking and entering into our infrastructure. Swords are intelligence, hacks, slicing in. That's from the Rusher. Reversed is kind of like this administration's role with it and kind of getting caught. And what can we do to counter that? And not to counter the hack, not to counter that, but to have a counter hack by those who are doing it, to insert more data or information into the system that will gum up the transition and affect PEB down the road with like false information that is installed in our networks. It's designed to be a nightmare down the road. And so I will tell you guys, this whole thing with the HA hack, for those of you who've been following me, you know I've been seeing this since over a year ago. Over a year ago, I've been seeing this, that the White House actually working with them in the Rusher to facilitate it, because it's in our telecommunications and our cable network system. And those who need to know, whether it's intelligence, the Bureau, those who need to know, they know. They've been watching this for a really, really, really long time. In fact, my guesstimate is that even before there was an inauguration, there were security measures taken in case of worst case scenario. Let's say he is an agent of them. How do we protect everything? How do we have everything backed up? So that I am not freaked out about this. It's about time it came into the dialogue and the narrative. And I wonder if they held off on this information for so long so that we could get to the transition point and push him out and kind of overwhelm him. And that's what's happening. He is overwhelmed. He is scared. So that's what now they're doing, this counter hack thing, which led to, oh my God, not only doing this, but then we got the 7 of Pentacles in the last reading. Partnership. This is the stockpile, the excess of the V-Ax that's sitting in warehouses. Last week, hospitals and states were told, oh, you're going to get about 30% less. that is because it's going elsewhere to the rusher and maybe to the North K. That is active, and there was a lot of agreement with this stockpile, and I looked into this more, agreement with this, and then the person, Mike, who's calling for special M laws, Arshel laws, my pig Latin. He's got it. He's connected to this, getting it overseas. So is Steve, I can't even say his name because I will buffer. I have to say fat bastard. You know, Annan Bay, him. It also points to Stone. And then some Chinese billionaires. That they're, could make some money that way. We're going to cut off 30% of this. We'll make some negotiations behind the scenes because in the Russia, their VAX, it sucks. I think that their efficacy rate is only about 80%. So that's where we left off. And so then I was supposed to come back and expand on that. We're not. I'm already 11 minutes into this. So what I wanted to read on then is Chief of Staff. I'll read you a little bit from the WAPO. It says, so the response to the massive HAC from the Russia, it's going to go beyond, way beyond sanctions. They were mapping out ways to push back and have penetrated a half dozen agencies. Thousands of American companies are exposed. It's not just the sanctions. It's steps and things we could do to degrade the capacity of outside actors, foreign actors, to engage in this type of thing. So options are being mulled by them to punish the Russia, include financial, retaliatory, HX, on their infrastructure day. So, of course, Russia denies involvement, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I wanted. Even Senator R.O. Romney said this breach was extraordinarily damaging and that it needed a response. We have to address this ASAP. So that is what I want to do this Taroscope on. What exactly is the response going to be? Because it's supposed to go well beyond, sanctions. Oh, and the reason why Don Julio can't address the sanctions is because Vlad Stubb, call him Stubb because when he was KGB, he was the shortest guy. He was a coffee boy. They called him Stubb. So Stubb, because Stubb will out him about what's going on with their negotiations with the VA acts that's sitting in warehouses. That's why I won't say anything. So this Taroscope, we would like to know, Tarot, what is this response going beyond? What does this involve with the incoming? Whatever you can show me, please. I'd most appreciate. So what is this response going to include? What's the crux of it? What's this about? What's the secret? Ooh. That was supposed to go like this, but the hidden enemy is the Yod, destiny, pointing to the 6th house. Day-to-day, military. The hope, the wish. This could be our friends, maybe like our allies, maybe. What are our friends, 11th house friends? What response? What's crowning this response that goes beyond? Ninth house, lands far away. This is usually Putin's house, this area, this real estate. What is that going to involve? What's our faith? What's the law? Now, there are shared resources going on with our response. Financial matters, perhaps. Endings, beginnings. What is our response relating to who we're in partnership with or who our adversary is? Public servants, defense, military, investigations, day-to-day routine. The fifth house of the sun. Now, the fifth house of the sun, the sun represents a leader of a nation. So when I say fifth house of the sun, that means Don Julio or the leader of another nation. What is that going to involve with the response? And this is our clan, our people, who we, how we defend and nurture and strengthen one another, our defenses, the communications, the information, the digital, the cyber. This part affecting income, gains, values, our possessions, our self-esteem. So at the bottom of the deck we have, Ten of Swords. End this now. You've been messing around too much. Pentacles are also data. You've been mucking around too much. We are sick of being at the mercy of the hand who keeps taking stuff. No, we're done. I am so glad to see this. Let me get a drink of water real quick. Okay, so how about that for a response? I like it. So the crux of this, we have the first house that has to do with one's identity. This is the action we're going to take. Usually this is like my card for the FBI. Oh, you guys, if this is the FBI, the Queen of Pentacles, queens are a nation, the Pentacles are her assets, and the astrology card said go to the 8th house of endings and beginnings. The 8th house has to do with shared resources, shared monies. Think taxes, where you share resources. You can think of inheritances. I just got Space Force came to my mind, shared agencies. So there is some major action that is going to take place that has to do with money. Let's go up here. What kind of money? What do we have over here? See that arrow points over here? So the whole, okay. So the Page of Swords, these are spies. The hackers, they are going to be relentless, going after the people who did this. But you have to understand, this video I'm doing started at number 1, and this card, why they went to the rusher, started here for an agent of them, or spies on the ground, or attacks on USA. How are we going to set up this agreement of share? Because it's data and digital. Oh my gosh. Go watch. There's so many clues in here as to what this means and what they're doing. Oh, that's going to hurt, you guys. Okay, let me get my glasses back on. I can't see. Okay, so the secret then behind going beyond, far beyond the essay actions. This is a secret. Okay, so this 4 of Cups reversed. Okay, let's start here. Because the 4 of Cups here was, they were going to rein in the feds, meaning this is why they're talking deficit. This is kind of like how they're going to treat PEB elect. You say you want this, you need this for your stimulus. Well, I got it. You're going to have to wait. It's like you're going to be the puppet. We're in charge of things. So the secret is that I think this admin knows the plans of those like the Mitch, the GOP, because the GOP does this for blackmailing or brute force, and intimidation and threats. Well, the secret is in their response, this is reversed. They're going to turn all this stuff on its head. This PEB, they are not doing this crap anymore. Okay? That's their secret. They're done with this. I would like some clarifiers on this. We're not doing this anymore. We're done. We're done here. We're done doing that. You guys got caught. We're not doing that anymore. This is Putin. Because of Queens, our nations, the wands have to do with leadership, and that is the leader of Donald. So the secret is the Republican Party is no longer going to do this crap. We're at an end to that. We caught them, their relationship here, and our response has to do with this spy overturned, the hacking overturned. And now the hidden enemy we have. Oh. So usually this is my mafia card. Winning unfairly. It's not so much winning unfairly. It's like we made a decision as a team and we're done with you coming in here like parasites and taking crap. So this is what we're going to do. And we know that there's mafiosos here on the ground manipulating stuff. Tell me more about that. Wow, this is amazing. So going back to July 4th, this card was crowning the reading like this. So when they were there, they were saying, a little free, this is what's crowning their decision to be there. We're here to help pay each other off through different favors. There's plenty for us, and we're going to do it all. They had to just simply make a deal with the devil, because this card was in the 9th house here. And then we are going to connect and blend our resources together and our ideals. The response is going to, again, GOP, you've done this too long. You can't do this anymore. And, oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm already 23 minutes. I'm going to stop here, but I promise I will get the rest of this up very soon tonight as well, okay? So I hope you enjoy this video. Please click like, please subscribe, check your notifications, okay? Because the YouTube is not happy with me. Okay, thanks you guys.